Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. Salak, I'm still under the weather. Just want to do this video because it's become a hot topic again. What is the mark of the beast? You know, and I don't want you brothers that know me that don't believe the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip to air, you know, when that time comes. So, you know, I believe the mark of the beast was something that you had to put in your skin, in your body, since when I was in the Christian churches, which was about between 1990 and 1993. You know, I was a young kid. 1990, I was 11. 1993, I turned 14 at the end of 1993, September 1993. So, you know, when I was in the church, I was being, you know, they even showed us movies where, like, borderline, like, action type movies where, you know, people were trying to avoid people that had the mark, and it was a physical mark on their forehead or on their wrist or in their hand, whatever. So I'm going to read the scripture in English, and you're going to get the understanding. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond." So all social classes are going to be required to get the chip. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right? A mark it's going to be in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. You can't buy or sell without it. You're going to be able to, just like how, let's take a step further, right? Or closer to now, right? You have debit cards with RFID chips in them. You have motor vehicle identifications with RFID chips in them. Now, if these things were, and they're capable of putting these things in your forehead or in your, in your forehead or in your right hand. They're capable of doing it. And also you have to think about the ability of this thing. This thing can be a problem solver in these last days for a lot of shit that's going on. Like, for example, you lost your keys. You don't have to lose your keys. You can wave your hand and shit, you know, and get into your car, get into your house, get into your job. You lost your debit card. You left your money home. You could just wave your hand, or shit could scan your forehead, and you can actually make purchases. Right? They're able to do it now. All right. So when they come to the point where they restrict people because you have to remember how the white man's technology works. For example, you know, they used to have record players. Now, if you have an old record and you want to hear it, what am I gonna do? You know, it's gonna be you have to jump through hoops to get a record player. You know. Then they stopped fucking with records. Actually, they had 8 tracks before that, but then you have records, then you have cassettes. You want to hear a cassette player, you better find the fucking cassette. You want to hear a cassette, you better find the fucking cassette player or a VCR. If you want to listen to that. You know, and it's going to be hard to find. Then later on, they came with CDs. So now to listen to a CD, you have to buy a CD player. In 2018, it's almost fucking impossible to find a CD player. All right. Then after that, it became MP3. So now you have to have an MP3 player. Right. So you see that as technology progresses, they don't make no provisions for the old shit. Just like TV. You know what I'm saying? You used to be able to watch TV with the wire coming right into the TV. Or before that, it was an antenna. Now it's like, fuck the antenna. Now you got the wire. The wire goes into a box that converts the signal into images. Now it's not right into the TV because the TV is not equipped. Now you have to have a box that converts the signal, a converter. So things change, technology changes, and they don't make no provisions for people that want to stick to the old technology. They say, "Fuck y'all. We're not gonna make no more cassette players. We're not gonna make no more record players." So it's the same thing with money. They're gonna get to the point they're not gonna print up money no more. They're gonna say, "Hey, with the money system, people was getting shot, robbed, and all that shit. It's gonna stop robberies. It's gonna stop crime. Because if you don't have your own fucking hand, you have that. If you have a hand, a microchip of somebody that's reported dead by the microchip itself, you're not gonna be able to use it. So that's gonna solve all your, all these carnal problems. You notice that there's a lot of people on pain pills and suicide and medication and shit. That microchip has the ability to alter their brain frequencies to actually cure them of the of what they're emotionally going through. You know why? You know why that is? That's because this thing is supposed to solve physical problems, man. Physical, like problems that are plaguing you. The suicide rate's gonna drop. People are not gonna be on pain pills and medication and all that. This shit is going to stop all the fucking problems that you have in life. Right? So, and this is something that's not natural since the beginning of man. We've never needed a fucking microchip. Everything else that we got is pretty similar to what they had back then. We have GMO foods that look like the same meat and the same vegetables as, the real meat and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So, everything else that you have that's unnatural, that's being introduced into the world, takes on a form of something that was there before it. Like I said, you had live operas at one point. Now you have fucking streaming services that you can sit in front of speakers and listen to, So let's go into the Hebrews in the Greek, right? Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks. Now let's get into what marks that's talking about. All right, it says in the Hebrew, kwai, incision, imprintment, tattoo. So you're not supposed to even make an incision in your skin, an imprintment or a tattoo. We're not supposed to get that. Now, let's go to the scripture that elders of the Church of Israel tried to teach me, at the time, of course, to go against the chip being a physical mark, right? They went into Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now, one thing you have to understand is the English word might be distinct. It might say mark. So you go to every scripture that says mark, but you read it in context. It says set a mark upon the foreheads. All right, so it could very be a particular color bandana. It could be you know how sometimes brothers put the shield of David right here, or a menorah. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of show, hey, he's good, right? And we're gonna go into the scripture in the Hebrew, the word tab, which is funny because saying he good is like saying he's tawab, right? So it says desire, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment, right? A mark, an implication, a signature, desire, or mark. Like, basically, leave him the fuck alone. He good. All right. Now, we're going to have to go into the Greek because a lot of scriptures are in the Greek about the mark. Now, going into Romans 16 and 17, right? It says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Right? So what's mark in Greek here? Skopeo. It means to look at, to observe, contemplate, to mark, to fix one's eyes upon, direct one's attention to, anyone, to look to take heed to thyself. Strong's definition, to take aim at, spy, skopeo. That is, figuratively, regard, consider, take heed to, look at, on, mark, compare. You know, so these are all things like saying, hey, observe this person. Another way you could use interchangeably with the word mark in that scripture is observe. Right? So every time you see the word mark, it doesn't mean and mark them. What is that? What you could tell, you know, you had fucking English class when you was in the kindergarten. Mark them. Mark is the verb, them is the subject. Clearly. So mark them. The other one that says set a mark. Set a mark. Put a mark on them. You know, that means, you know, in that case, the mark is the subject. Right? In Ezekiel. So there was some type of physical proof that these men were good. Right? That, oh, I already got them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it could have been a particular color that you put on them, a symbol, whatever, but it wasn't inside the skin. Right? So moving on, because, you know, we have to go into, you know, we have to get the understanding, man. You know, it's imperative. Let's see. Hold up. It's imperative that we go into the Hebrew for this. Okay. Philippians 3 verse 14. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Hamashiach Yahawashi. What does Mark say here? Scopos, which is related to scopeo, means an observer, a watchman. So this is a person, right? I press toward the mark, which is the overseer, basically, for calling the prize of the calling of the high, the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Hamashiach Yahawashi. And reading on, it says, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an ensample. What does Mark say here? Scopeo. To look at, observe, contemplate, to mark. I already read it. You already know. So it's more like watch them. Like if a new brother come around, especially one that's been in the truth before, you know, that I never heard of, that I never spoke to, I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna be like, hold up, you know, let me watch his moves, make sure that he's not on some agent shit. You know what I mean? You know, but let's get to the heart of the matter here. Let's get to the heart of the matter, man. Let's get Revelation 3 and 16 again, but we're gonna read what Mark. Well, I already read it, so I'm just gonna go to the point. It says, mark, you know, where it says right hand or forehead. What kind of mark is this? Kharagma. Kharagma. A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work. From the same as Karax, which is a pale or a stake or a palisade. It says a scratch or an etching that is stamped as a badge of servitude. So it's something in your skin, right? Now, let's not stop there. There's more. The mark of the beast is all over the book of Revelations. And we're living in the time of Revelation, so you should be a little understanding of how important this is, right? So it says 14 verse 9, Revelation. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. What's marked there? Ooh, Kharagma. So you can pretty much say, listen, just on the strength of grammar alone. Anytime you see Mark and you look back and it says Kharagma as the root, as the word that was translated into Mark, that it's something inside your skin, right? And it repeats it again in verse 11. It's Kharagma again. Let's see. Let's get what Mark is in Revelation 15:2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. What is marked there? Oh, Kharagma. Wow. Kharagma. 16:2. Revelation 16:2. We're all over the book of Revelation here. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. Mark of the beast, Kharagma. And what's that for beast? Therion, which basically means an animal. You know? and again, you get another Revelation 19:20. Let's see what Mark means there. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Mark there, a Kharagma. So you see, my fellow Hebrews, the mark of the beast stems from a word, Kharagma therion, which means an imprinted mark. An imprinted mark for this animal, this beast. So it says, and I saw 20 and 4 in Revelation. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai. Dead in Yahushai shall arise first. And for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received. Let's go into receive, to take his mark, Kharagma. So to take his imprint. The mark of the beast. So you could see how all over the scriptures it goes into this mark, and it has different marks in the scriptures clearly, and I mean it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. You can't get around that the mark of the beast is something that is put into your skin, right? I don't know. I mean, how else can you interpret it? I don't see how else you can actually interpret it. It's it's something inside your skin, man. Like that's it. That's it. No, now let me just check one other thing here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty blatant. The mark of the beast is is clearly. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know how much clearer we can be, you know. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahushua shall arise first. Shalom.